Hello, everyone, and welcome to the College2Career Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Sarah. I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items for you. This is a webinar. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. We encourage you to do so throughout the presentation. And if you do have a question to a specific institution, please go ahead and list that in the Q&A so that way they can get to those questions a little bit quicker. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website and sign up for more. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available at college2career.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Pacific University, Oregon, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, my friends, how's everybody doing today? I'm going to share my screen with you. My name's Jeff Grunden. Everybody calls me Uncle Jeff. I am from Hawaii. I have been the counselor for all of the students from Hawaii here at Pacific University for the last 35 years. Pacific University is located in Forest Grove, Oregon. We are the oldest university west of the Mississippi River. We are celebrating our 176th year this year. We are located in Forest Grove, Oregon. We're about 30 minutes from downtown Portland. We're about an hour from the Oregon coast. And we're about 15 minutes from what we like to call the Silicon Forest, which is a ton of major companies: Nike, Columbia Sportswear, Intel, Genentech, Amazon, Google, just to name just a few, major health centers as well. University of about 3,900 students, about 1,900 students in the undergrad, and about 2,300 students in our graduate programs. So what's really important to know about that is our student faculty ratio here is 10-1. There are no TAs. All the graduate students are in the graduate programs. We now have over 75 majors that we just added 3 new majors this year: sports leadership and management. We added an outdoor leadership major this year and a major in sports broadcasting. We now have 33 masters and doctorates. The vast majority are in the health sciences. For example, we just added a new doctorate in health science. We have a doctorate in physical therapy, a doctorate in occupational therapy, doctorate in pharmacy, doctorate in optometry, one of the top 2 optometry schools in the United States. We have a doctorate in audiology, doctorate in clinical psychology. So we're doing a lot of masters in physician assistant studies, to name just a few. So there's a lot going on here at Pacific University. This is a sampling, my friends, of the undergraduate degrees. This is not all of them. The average class size here at Pacific is 19 students. That includes our 3 largest classes, which are general biology, general chemistry, and general psychology. We're very, very powerful in the sciences. Our largest classes seat 60 students. That's it. That's our biggest classes. We expect you to know your professors by first name. We expect the professors to know you by first name. Every student that comes into Pacific will have an admissions counselor like myself to help you. But every student, when you come here to Pacific, you'll have your own academic advisor, which is actually a professor. You'll have your own career advisor, and you'll have your own financial aid counselor as well. So it's all about personal attention here. We're all about the one-on-one. So we're invested in helping you reach your dreams and goals. The Advantage program is really important. You apply to become an Advantage Scholar. If you're interested in one of our graduate programs, like physical therapy, like pharmacy, or optometry as an example, you apply to become an Advantage Scholar the fall of your freshman year. And as a part of this program, these are some of the classes you will take. We will help you secure all your volunteer and observation experience. We'll help you with your applications to our graduate programs. But really, most importantly, you as an Advantage Scholar will get to apply to all of our graduate programs as a junior. You will also get a guaranteed interview, which is huge because, for example, in physical therapy, we have 44 seats in our doctoral program, and we'll get a couple thousand applications for 44 seats. So to have a guaranteed interview is huge because we're not going to interview a whole ton of students. So that's a really, really important thing. By graduation in the undergrad, over 95% of our seniors know where they're going to graduate school or what career position they're going to start with. So that's a real important and helpful thing. Internships are really important and are required in all of our undergraduate degree programs. Our students in all of the sciences and all the other programs except for business will be required to do research, and over 40% of our seniors actually publish their senior project papers. And a large percentage of those students actually deliver their papers at national conferences. So if you're chosen to do that, we will send you and your advisor, all expenses paid, to that conference and you'll present. Lots of stuff to do here at Pacific, over 70 different clubs and organizations. Of course, you have a big Hawaiian club, 14 different performing arts programs. Performing Arts Center here at Pacific is ranked in the top 14 in the nation, 24 Division III athletic programs with phenomenal facilities throughout all of these programs. Tremendous amount of scholarships and financial aid. 100% of our students receive scholarships and financial aid. If you are admitted to Pacific, you will receive a scholarship. Merit scholarships begin at $15,000 and go all the way up to $27,000 a year. Coming to senior preview day virtually or in person, you're guaranteed a $4,000 scholarship by attending. And that's a really awesome way to get to know the university and actually meet and talk with professors and current students. And then special talent awards in over 20 plus different areas that range anywhere from $500 to $6,000 a year. And we do stack up all of the scholarships. We are Common App only. We are test optional completely. So if you do have test scores, send them to us. They cannot hurt you. They can only help you. This is my contact information here at the university. Please feel free to get us a holler. Always know that we're here to help you make your dreams and goals come true. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Pacific University, Oregon. Next up, we have Utica College.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can see my screen here. I'm going to present it for you now. So my name is Paul Livak. I'm one of our admissions counselors here. For anyone that does decide to apply, I will be the one that reads your application. A little bit about me. I actually attended the college. I did my undergraduate degree in health studies, and then I did my master's of occupational therapy here as well. Played 2 sports, football and tennis. So a little bit about the college itself. We have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Average class is about 20. I'll tell you from prior experience, an average class size for us is right around there. I will tell you the biggest class I've had was 32 and the smallest was 4. We sat on corners to take tests. It was kind of fun. We have 26 Division III men's and women's sports. We all play in the Empire 8 Conference, which is an awesome conference. The only 2 teams that play in a different conference are our men's ice hockey team and our women's water polo team. Some of our most popular majors, we have business management. We also have construction management. We have all of the health sciences, nursing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychology, child life, and we also have 70 plus undergraduate majors and minors. So applying is pretty easy. We have our own application on our school's website, but we also go through the Common App. I think, in my opinion, it's probably the easiest way to do it. Do it for one school and then you have it done for most of your other schools. We do have a fee waiver here. If anyone has a pen and pad ready, the code is UCWV. So we do have some important deadlines. So early decision is November 1st. That is a binding contract. If you get accepted to that institution, you're going there 100%. Early action is a non-binding contract. So if you're interested in the school, but you don't want 100%, like you don't know 100% that you're going there, probably the early action is your second best. And then we have rolling or regular admission. With all of our decisions here, we guarantee you a reply within 2 weeks, whether you got accepted or you didn't. So some requirements, you obviously in your high school transcript, you need an essay. You need at least 1 letter of recommendation, but if you have 100 of them, I'll read all of them. And then we are SAT and ACT optional, except for our students that go into our joint health program. That's for students that want to become a physician, a dentist, or a pharmacist. So typically, we do require an SAT or an ACT for our occupational therapy, physical therapy, and nursing program. But with everything going on in the world, we are going to be test optional for this coming up year as well. But we do require some other things. So you need 4 years of math and 4 years of science. So when I read your application, you need to have all those. You also need to do really well in those. That's how we're going to be basing your acceptance into the college. One other really important thing is that your essay should include why you want to be said profession. So why do you want to be a physical therapist, nurse, or occupational therapist? Financial aid, 95% of our students receive financial aid to go there. We also have merit-based scholarships. So typically our scholarships range from anywhere from 1,000 to 7,500, and then you can also receive financial aid. So cost of attendance, we're a little bit over, right around $35,000. This is before any financial aid or merit-based scholarships. This also includes your room and board, as well as your meal plan on our campus here. So there's a ton of things to do on our campus here. Right here, I have a nice little picture. This houses 3 out of the 7 of our residential halls on our campus here. You'll have a resident assistant that lives in the residential halls with you. They are required to do 2 events per month per resident assistant. So there's a ton of opportunity to do on campus and off campus. Like I mentioned to you, we also have 26 Division III men's and women's sports. You might recognize this fellow right here. We have 30 intramural sports, 4 club sports, and then we have been #1 in attendance for hockey for the last 10 years. The reason being is that we have a professional arena in downtown Utica. The Utica Comets, which are an AHL affiliate of the Vancouver Canucks, they play there. We actually graduate there, which is really, really cool. And both our men's and women's ice hockey team play there. So we have a ton of new things on our campus. The first of which is Pioneer Village. It's our newest residential hall. We are now allowed to house graduate students on our campus, which is a first for us, which is awesome. We also have Thurston Hall. It's a brand new construction management building. The field of construction management has 100% job placement. So we needed a brand new building for them. And then over here is our Todd and Jen Hutton Sports and Recreation Center that is referred to our students by the Dome. It's the 2nd largest inflatable structure in the Northeast. You have 4 full basketball courts, 4 full tennis courts, a full indoor track, 70-yard turf in there, a full weight room, and all the amenities for track and field. So there's a ton of things to do in Utica. Like I mentioned too, we have professional athletics, and we also have tons and tons of dining options. So if you have any questions for us, the Office of Admissions, our number is 315-792-3006, and you can reach us at admiss@utica.edu. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Colorado State University-Pueblo.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Noelle Clark, and I'm the Regional Admissions Counselor for Colorado State University-Pueblo and a proud CSU Pueblo alum as well. So I love coming here and talking with you guys about my university and all the great offerings that we have for you guys. Let's go ahead and start off with where we're located. We're located in Southern Colorado in Pueblo. Colorado is a great place for your higher ed because there's so many great opportunities, and also we're in close access to anything with the outdoors. So if you're into any outdoor activities, Colorado is really a great place to be at. We're in the high desert of Colorado, so our weather is pretty mild year round. So if you're wanting to experience all 4 seasons, but only get about 25 inches of snow a year, and it usually melts the day it snows, pretty easy. We're a pretty great place for that. But let's go ahead and talk about the university itself. We have just about 4,000 students total. So that means your average class size is only 16 students. That means you really get to know your professors, your classmates, and build that relationship with them. I can tell you from my entire 4 years as a CSU Pueblo student, I only had 1 class that had more than 30 students in it. That class had 65 students in it, and the professors still knew every single one of us by name. So even if you're in those larger settings, you build that relationship. Your professors know who you are, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, and they're there to help you succeed at the university, in their class, and going on into your future career field. We're a very diverse student body in general as well, with 40% first generation, 50% students coming from diverse backgrounds. We are a Hispanic European institution, and we are a military friendly university and have lots of great offerings if you're coming from our military communities, our families. Talking about the programs, we are a comprehensive university with over 80 areas of study total, with all of our majors and minors, pretty across the board with what we offer, but I'll go ahead and really highlight our healthcare and pre-med areas that we have within the programs. So you can see on there, some of our popular programs do include our nursing. That's one of our most popular programs on campus, what we're most well known for. That is the only program that we offer that is not direct entry. So you do have to apply at the end of your freshman year in order to enter the nursing program. It's just based on your GPA in your prerequisite nursing classes that you take your freshman year at CSU Pueblo. We end up having about 50% admit rate into the nursing program, and we let in 90 students a year. So we are still a very accessible option, albeit competitive. But we do have a couple of routes for nursing and other healthcare fields if you don't get into that nursing route. So we do have our health sciences major, which houses our pre-nursing, pre-athletic training, general, and healthcare administration majors. With that, if you do not get accepted into the nursing program, if you graduate with a health sciences degree, you can be automatically accepted into our accelerated nursing program after you graduate with your bachelor's degree. Our pre-athletic training program within health sciences gets you set up to go straight into our athletic training master's program, which is set up as a 3+2, which means you can complete your undergrad and master's in 5 years as opposed to the traditional 6. Saves you a lot of time, a lot of money with that program going straight through. Then also for healthcare, our health sciences does set you up if you're wanting to do pre-PT, if you're wanting to go to physical therapy school, OT school, medical school. We have a lot of resources within there. And we also have the traditional pre-med routes through our biology and chemistry departments that will set you up. Within our programs, we have simulation labs, we have clinical experiences, shadowing experiences with healthcare fields across the Southern Colorado area. So regardless of what you're going into for healthcare, we have a lot of great resources, and there's a lot of need in our community. So there's a lot of support behind those programs within the university and our areas. We have advisors that will help you with your med school applications and help you with those resources, finding the right programs for you. Our students often do GRE or MCAT study groups together. So you'll find that support getting you into the medical field from CSU Pueblo. I love to talk about our simulation labs. Like I mentioned, we just renovated one of our buildings this year on campus for our health sciences and nursing simulation labs. Those are amazing. They have a lot of those robotic people that, will give birth, die on the table. So you get that experience before you're in the hospitals and working with actual patients. So you get that hands-on experience with them. We also have a cadaver lab on campus, and there's opportunities to do research within the sciences with our professors as early as freshman year. So that can help prep you going on to medical school as well and help you beef up your resume. To talk a little bit about our affordability, we are a part of the Western Undergraduate Exchange. So if you are from a Western state, it's automatic reduced tuition for you coming to CSU Pueblo. If you're from any other state, you're not left out either. You also get a reduced tuition rate. So you're not paying out-of-state tuition and fees with us. We do have automatic merit scholarships that start at $500 to $8,000 a year based on your GPA, test scores, and class rank of your graduating high school class. Other scholarships and financial aid as well that will stack directly on top of that to help reduce that cost down for you guys. Our application is open, it is rolling. So when you apply, it's about 1 week for an admissions decision. We are test optional this year. So all we require is our online application, no essays, no letters of recommendation, no personal statement, and your official transcripts. This right here is all my contact information. You'll see there's an application fee waiver code there as well. I'd love to chat with you guys more about CSU Pueblo and the great offerings that we have, but I'll go ahead and hand it on to the next presenter.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Florida Southern College.
All righty, that's me. So hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Barnes. And like I said, I am with Florida Southern College. Despite the name, Florida Southern is actually located in the center of the state of Florida. We're about 6 hours from Miami. So to give a little bit of an overview for what the college is like, we're located in a town called Lakeland, which is a town of about 115,000 people and is statistically one of the fastest growing metro areas in the US. So it's a very cool place to be. You're within driving distance of about 8.5 million people between Tampa and Orlando, which are both about an hour away. So we're in a really cool place to learn and thrive and grow, and it's a very vibrant area to be. The college is relatively small. We run about 3,000 total students. That includes about 500 people in graduate programs. So we are a primarily undergraduate institution. And as you can see on here, we do really have that kind of small class size and a lot of different things to do on campus because we are a residential school. We guarantee and require housing for all 4 years if you're coming from further than 30 miles away from our campus. So it's definitely a close-knit community that really dives into making sure that you have a strong connection to where you're located and really taking advantage of the campus as a whole. We kind of frame your experience at Florida Southern around what we call the 3 guarantees, which are making sure that everyone has access to study abroad, everyone gets a chance to do an internship, and guaranteeing for your graduation. That's really important for us. So regardless of what you're studying across those 70 plus academic programs, we really want to make sure that everyone gets access to have the chance to go overseas and get that international experience and start building up a resume. And there is actually a stipend included in your tuition to help cover either partially or fully the cost of going abroad. But to dive in a little bit more specifically to some of the healthcare options that are available at Florida Southern, healthcare, the STEM fields, kind of pre-med, are statistically the biggest area of interest for our incoming class every year. And we really do see a strong set of students who are coming in either for programs like our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, pre-med, or who are looking at something else kind of adjacent to the field. So to kind of run down the list here, like I said, we are a direct entry Bachelor of Science in Nursing. You can see on there that is a test optional option for you this year. Typically has about a 37% acceptance rate. So that is the most competitive program that we offer. But once you're in, as long as you're maintaining your GPA and keeping up with your classes that you're going through for the program, you are guaranteed a spot in the nursing program. Our typical starting cohort is about 75 to 100 students. So definitely a program that focuses a lot on that hands-on experience and has a very strong showing when it comes to graduation rates. We historically have had very strong graduation rates on the NCLEX as well, and pass rates. So we really are putting a lot of effort into making sure that you're ready to go on and continue on into the professional world. And 100% of the students who have graduated as a nursing major from Florida Southern in the last 5 years have been offered a job, sometimes even before they graduate, just because our area is growing so fast and tends to need so many nurses. But if nursing isn't your jam, there's a ton of other options available for you. So we do have a medical lab sciences major, which I always like to call out specifically because that is a pre-professional degree that is designed to be a medical lab scientist. It is not a pre-med degree if you're looking at going on and being a doctor. But if you're looking for lab work, you really enjoy chemistry and you want to be really involved in lab work, it's a great option. If you're thinking about medical school or one of those other pre-professional tracks on here, you've got a couple of options through us as well. We have a partnership agreement with LECOM, the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. You can also do a traditional pre-medicine program through us and have a little bit more flexibility in where you go to med school as well. If you're looking at nursing or physical therapy, you can do those at Florida Southern itself. Otherwise, we'll help launch you into other places around the state of Florida, around the country, and even around the globe. So there's a lot of kind of associated experiences that go into that because we do have such a strong set of students who are involved in healthcare programs at Florida Southern. So there's all sorts of extracurricular programs you can join, and there's even some specific study abroad programming. So we've had students go to Germany to study the formation of the Red Cross. A couple of years ago, we had a group go to Spain to study the Spanish healthcare system. So we really want to make sure that if you are taking advantage of that junior journey study abroad guarantee, that you have the option to do something that's really close to your major and your interests, if that's how you want to structure it. Otherwise, there's a ton of other things that you can do in terms of professional observation and job opportunities being located where we are. There's a ton of really cool options there. That's kind of the very basic piece of information about admission and stuff like that. There's some links there, but you can also text or call me if you have any questions, and I will be more than happy to walk through things with you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Florida Southern College. Next up, we have University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm Sarah. I'm one of the admissions representatives at the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy. If you aren't familiar, we are located in St. Louis, Missouri. Here's a picture of our downtown. It's downtown St. Louis with the gateway to the west right there. We are located in a neighborhood called Central West End, which we're right in the middle of a biomedical campus. So we have two nationally recognized hospitals, Barnes-Jewish and Children's Hospital. We also have the Siteman Cancer Research Center, and we have Goldfarb School of Nursing on the other side of our campus. So we are in the best location to study health sciences and pharmacy. And here's a little look at our campus. I actually took this photo. This is in our academic research building. Our buildings are pretty new on campus. This building was built in 2015, and then the building that you're looking at was built in 2017, which is where our dorms are located. This is a little inside look into those dorms, and they're just as nice as this picture shows. So a little bit about us. Our total enrollment is a little under 1,000 students at 998. So we're a pretty small school, and that just means that our class or student faculty ratio size is super small as well, 10:1. So class sizes really don't get much bigger than 10, 15 students. For a general education class, maybe 25 students at the most. Our first year student profile looks a little bit like 24 to 29 ACT scores and a 3.69 GPA. So that's a little bit about our academic profile for our first year students, but a lot of those students are well above that range, or even we accept students who are below that range. We just added a bunch of new undergraduate majors recently. We have, I'll go to this next slide. We've been mainly these 6 that you see in the left-hand column, Global Health, Medical Humanities, those we've had since 2015, and then we just added all of the other columns to the right. So we're getting more into the health sciences field with biochemistry, biopsychology, neuroscience. For our student athletes are really interested in exercise physiology. And then students who are interested in going to technology also have options with data science and computer science as well. A lot of our students are going into pharmacy. Pharmacy is what we've been doing for a very long time, since 1864. And those students would be majoring in pharmaceutical sciences starting off. And then we also have a huge group of our students who are going into med school, and they are majoring in biomedical sciences, but you can major in anything, in any one of these to go into med school. So we also have a few graduate study opportunities. We just launched 2 master's programs this fall, one in global health and equity and one in medicinal chemistry. We also have some partnerships with local schools in St. Louis. We have a dental medicine partnership with University-Missouri School of Dentistry and Oral Health. We also have a partnership to get an MBA, or Master's of Business, and a pharmacy degree with the University-Missouri St. Louis. And then we have a partnership with Washington University School of Medicine, which is right next door to our campus as well. We have an OT and a PT program with them. And then, of course, like I mentioned, we do pharmacy really well. We've been doing it for a very long time. We have a few options for undergraduate students. One, a 6-year, which is where you would do pre-pharmacy coursework and then transfer into our professional program, which is 4 years. And then we have a 7-year integrated bachelor's in PharmD program, which is where students would get a bachelor's degree in that pharmaceutical sciences, and then they would go into their PharmD program for 4 years. So you save a year with that program because they combine your senior year and your first year of the professional program into 1 year. So academics aside, we do have a lot of support for our students, and that's the benefit of being such a small school. So we have academic support with advising coaches, and we also have peer tutoring. Tutoring is not a stigmatized thing on our campus. Every student gets tutoring at some point or the other. We have a writing center, a career services center, and of course, a counseling center as well. And then we also have our Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So little known fact about us is that we are an NAIA Division I sports school. So we have a lot of great teams on our campus. And we've also just opened up a lot more teams that we're adding to our ranks. So starting with men's baseball and down, those are our new teams. So we've got cheerleading starting up in the fall 2022, rugby, wrestling, golf. So those are our new teams. So if you're interested in athletics, talk to me, send me your information, and I can get you hooked up with a coach. We also have some other options for students to get involved with Greek life. We even have the American Sign Language Club and other medically focused organizations as well. And we have 60 plus organizations on our campus. So if you can't find something, you can easily start one. And then we also have a performing arts center, club sports and intramural sports, and then we have community service options. All right, so quickly about our application. It is free and we have a holistic review process. We're test optional and our regular decision will be by March 1st. And then here's a QR code for our preview day if you want to quickly scan that, and I'll also put it in the chat for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Westminster College.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Cody Clements, and I am working on sharing my screen with you. I'm an admissions counselor with Westminster College. And so to start off, Westminster College is a private independent liberal arts school, and we're located in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so we're a very small institution. And when talking to students, I often remind them that when you're looking at a college, you want to make sure that you ask yourself, do I think I'm going to thrive in a large institution? Do I think I'm going to thrive in a small institution? And so anytime you can, visit the campus in person, walk around and see how you fit. That's some of my general advice. Again, you can see in the corner here, our average class size is 15 students. And 48% of our students are from out of state. So Westminster has over 50 academic programs and majors, but you're all here, I believe, because you're thinking about healthcare. And so one of the first things that I want to talk about is Westminster's direct entry nursing program. And so direct entry nursing has come up a couple different times. And what it means at Westminster, and I'm willing to bet what it means at other institutions, is with direct entry into a nursing program, your academic path is secure as long as you meet each institution's minimum requirements for beginning the program. So we say at Westminster, you can have confidence that you've been admitted to nursing program while you complete your prerequisite courses. So again, this is for high school students in their senior year that are thinking about, hey, I want to do a nursing program. But at Westminster, we have 2 years of classes that a student has to complete before they get into the nursing program. And so the advantage to doing direct entry nursing is that by submitting our various application requirements, which are you need to have a 3.5 GPA, you need to have completed your free application to the college, and you need to submit 2 academic letters of recommendation and a 2-page double-spaced 12-point font letter of intent. So by doing each of those things, and hopefully after you've been admitted to the institution, you're going to have a guaranteed seat in the nursing program. So that means you don't have to interview again. What you need to do is make sure that you get through your 2 years, you do your prerequisites, you have your 3.0, and then you'll have your guaranteed spot in the nursing program. And so it really takes a lot of stress out of your college experience, knowing that, okay, these next 2 years, I can focus on doing my nursing prereqs and I'm going to have a spot in the nursing program. And so if any of you were thinking about nursing, I would start asking schools to say, hey, do you have a direct entry nursing program? And can you tell me more about it? For Westminster, a date that you want to keep in mind is that the priority deadline for direct entry nursing is December 1st. And so that seems far away, but it's going to come around sooner than you think. Next, I want to talk about public health. So Westminster has a great public health major. And some of you may not know what public health is exactly. So public health, it can help prevent epidemics and the spread of diseases. It protects against environmental hazards. It prevents injuries, promotes and encourages healthy behaviors, responds to disasters and assists communities in recovery, and assures the quality and accessibility of all health services. So public health has been around forever. Some of you may have heard of this thing going on in the world called COVID-19. And so that has had a huge influence on public health and healthcare at large, obviously. But some of the greatest achievements of public health in the 20th century are vaccinations, improved sanitation, fewer deaths from heart disease and stroke, and you can see the list goes on. And again, threats in our modern age is new and re-emerging infectious diseases such as H1N1, Zika, and COVID-19. So you, all the students in public health, you're changing society as a whole by researching these things for the better. And so I just want to encourage you, if you haven't heard of public health, and you're not quite looking for any of these other healthcare fields, it could be a really great fit for you. I also want to talk about pre-professional health. So a lot of students looking at college, they say, hey, I want to be a medical doctor. I want to be a pharmacist. I want to work in physical therapy and so on. And at most institutions, you need to do some kind of prerequisite course and then go on to a specific program for each of these fields so that you're prepared and ready. So the way it works at Westminster College is if you want to go be an occupational therapist, you'll get paired with an academic advisor at Westminster who specializes in pre-professional health, and they'll help you select the types of classes that you're going to need to be prepared to go to school for occupational therapy. So that advisor will know the different requirements and strengths that you can bring and things that you should do to prepare. And so what's great as well is that if you want to engage in any of these healthcare fields, you can absolutely get involved in athletics. So Westminster is an NCAA Division II athletic institution. You heard from a lot of these other different schools that they offer athletics. And so I talked about it in one of my comments. All of us as schools, we're looking for well-rounded applicants. And so if you're thinking about applying to Westminster College, we're a rolling admissions campus. That means we accept applications throughout the year. And so it's a free application. We're test optional, and there's a lot of really cool things that we have to offer. And so I want to leave time for your greater questions, comments, and concerns. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you so much. So at this time, I'd like to invite all of our amazing panelists to join me back on screen. And we're going to start what we call a round robin, our question and answer session with our panelists. So starting back at the top with Pacific University, Oregon, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. I think really important, guys, whatever school you're thinking about, don't let the price tag scare you. Okay, you need to apply to that school. You need to apply for financial aid and apply for scholarships at an institution. Of course, apply for outside scholarships, fill out your FAFSA, your profile, whatever those schools are requiring, but don't let that frighten you. You need to go through the entire process to find out what can that college or university do to help you get to where you want to go. So in a lot of cases, I know when I looked at Pacific, when I was a young student, my mom said it's private and we can't afford it and forget it. We're not mortgaging the family for you. And guess what? Discovered that we could do it. So do your due diligence, apply, and don't let those price tags frighten you.
Utica College.
I would visit the campus, see how it is, and then don't let any question go unanswered. If you have 1,000,008 questions, make sure they all get answered there and then. And then if you think of something on the road, give us a call. We're open, most of the day and into the afternoon. So give us a call. And even if you don't reach us, leave us a voicemail. We'll get back to you that next day. So always ask questions and always get an answer.
Colorado State University-Pueblo.
My top advice to you guys is to really take the time to find out what you're interested in. A lot of times up until this point in your life, you've been influenced by parents, teachers, friends, but take the time to look into the schools that interest you, maybe a different program that sounds interesting that you're not as familiar with. College is a great time to explore your individuality and who you are as a person. So don't be afraid to do something that maybe you never thought about before.
Florida Southern College.
I think for me, one of the things I remember most about my college process was being swarmed with mail and email. So make yourself a specific college email, spend some time sorting through emails, unsubscribing from things you're not interested in. I promise we're not going to be offended. Our goal is just to make sure that you're getting the information that you need. And email is one of the most frequent ways that we communicate that with you. So it's really important that you stay on top of that.
University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
The advice I'd give someone going through this process right now is to just remember, focus on your passions. Kind of answering the question of like what I want to do in the future is kind of hard to do when you're in high school. And so just focus on what you like to do and where your passions lie. And hopefully you end up somewhere where the campus matches that, the people around you support you.
And Westminster College.
Yeah, I said it in my presentation and I stick by it. Make sure to get to campus physically in person if you can. A lot of campuses too might offer a travel reimbursement, and Westminster were one of those schools. And so as you're looking at schools, I would start to say, hey, do you have a travel reimbursement? And look into that, and it might help you financially get there. But again, campuses look different on their website than they do physically in person.
And starting back with Pacific University of Oregon, our next question, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
I think really important, the personal interaction with our professors and the fact that the students here are required to do research in all of our undergraduate degree programs, and a large portion of them, over 40%, do publish their papers and do present at national conferences.
Wonderful. And Utica College.
I think for us is just how nice we are and how much we're willing to help you get wherever you need to go. Whether it's a professor stopping and talking to you in the hallway for 20 minutes because you're having a midlife crisis over a 94 you got an exam, or whether it's a staff member that's walking around campus and you just need some help finding wherever you need to go.
Colorado State University-Pueblo.
For CSU-Pueblo, I would want you guys to remember our affordability. With our small size, we're a state school still, and we give you the size of a small private university with the cost of being a state school with scholarships stacked on top of each other to really reduce that cost down for you. So you can be in those small class sizes without paying those private school prices.
Florida Southern College.
I think I'll return back to those 3 guarantees I talked a little bit about. We really try to make sure that students have those scaffolded in. It's really important for us to make sure that people have access not only to hands-on learning, but also to some of those other experiences like study abroad. And I think that's a really cool aspect of being at Florida Southern.
University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
One thing I want you to take away from my presentation is that everything we do is healthcare focused. So even classes like history classes all have that healthcare lens to it. So you're never going to be in a class here and wondering, why am I learning this? So everything goes back to where you want to be.
Westminster College.
Yeah, I think I want to say that there's no one single type of student that thrives at Westminster. So we offer each of our different programs and majors because different students excel in those and they go out and change the world. And so that we don't have a particularly bragging major. We really emphasize that all the majors are great choices.
And our last question today, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process? And we'll start with Pacific University, Oregon.
Yeah, with the application, most folks start to freak out when it's time to write your essay. So what I'd like to tell you is be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. We want to get to know you, the person. So we're looking at you and the whole person. Write your essay separately, have someone look it over, and then submit it. But make sure it says what you want it to say. Don't worry about what we want to read.
Utica College.
I think one myth is that everyone thinks that there's no way one person is reading all of these applications all at once. We take our time to read everything, even if you submit to us 15 essays or 104 letters of recommendation. So we'll read anything and everything that you give us.
Colorado State University-Pueblo.
I think one myth is that you feel like you have to have everything figured out when you start the application process. That is definitely not true. Chat with us, get to know, apply to the schools you're interested in, but it's okay if you change your mind throughout the process of which schools are your number one. We anticipate you doing that, and we know that happens. So don't feel like you have to have it all figured out right at the beginning of the process.
Florida Southern College.
There's this myth that we're all like extremely busy and don't have time to talk with you, or that you're bothering us by asking questions. We're literally paid to help answer your questions and make sure that you're getting the information you need. So come talk with us.
University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
One myth that I'd like to debunk is that private schools are unaffordable. Definitely you get kind of scared when you see that price tag, but never don't get too afraid before you do some research on it. Usually it balances out with financial aid and scholarships and all that.
Westminster College.
The myth I want to debunk is that you have to know exactly what you want your major to be today. It's perfectly okay not to know your major, and it's okay to change your major. Colleges are set up for success and advising you throughout your process. So don't feel like you need to know your exact major in this moment.
Well, that concludes our session. I want to first thank our wonderful presenters for their information on their institutions and also their general advice today. Thank you for joining us. And when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at college2career.org. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.